Ferdinand Marcos, and I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines. I stand today on behalf of 110 million Filipinos.
Hello people, hello words, and hello Philippine. It's me again guys, Let's Talk Vlog. Shout out sa lahat ng mga Marcos loyalists and supporters. But anyway mga kababayan, mayroon tayong very important good news upload video sa inyong lahat, na kung saan ang ating mahal na Pangulo ay nasa bansang Malaysia. State visit ito mga kababayan, ay to be clear sa lahat, no, ito po ay invitation ng bansang Malaysia, no. Ano man ang mahalagang pag-uusap ng ni Pangulong Marcos at ang bansang Malaysia ay syempre malalaman natin sa pagdating ng panahon. Ngunit mga kababayan, alam po natin ang ating mahal na Pangulo, pag nasa state visit yan, mayroong hindi talagang hindi niya pwedeng kalimutan sa kanyang pagdalo sa isang bansa ay ang nanghihikayat nga, no, ng mga foreign investor. Kung nakikita niyo ang video nito, ito po yung tinatawag na round table meeting. Wow! Nakaharap at kasama ang mga kilalang businessman sa Malaysia. Kung napakinggan nyo ito guys, pakinggan nyo ang kanyang sinasabi, ang kanyang mungkahi sa harapan ng mga malalaking businessman. Ito po yung pag-i-encourage, no? Talaga namang ipinagmalaki niya ang ating bansang Pilipinas kung paano mabilis lumagi ang ekonomiya ng bansa. Na talaga namang ang Pilipinas na sinasabi niya ay very good destination for investment, no? Saka talagang ang Pangulo, pinopromote niya talaga ang bansang Pilipinas. Dahil at itong Pangulo na ito, mahal niya talaga ang kanyang bansang sinilangan at ang mamamayang Pilipino. Ang kanyang ginagawa mga kababayan ay ang paghikayat ng mga foreign investor para mag-invest dito sa Pilipinas. Syempre ay magkikreate ito ng manpower, ika nga manggagawa. But siyempre mga kababayan, ako yung mahanga talaga sa kanyang galing, diskarte pamamaraan, no? Very magaling at matalino ito. So but para mapakinggan nyo, no, ang kanyang mga sinasabi kung paano manghikayat, mag-inganyo ng mga foreign investor, ay pakinggan nyo ang kanyang sinasabi mga kababayan para kumpleto detalye, at pakinggan nyo din ang sinasabi ng mga businessman ay hinggil sa ating bansa ngayon. Napakaganda. But before that guys, don't forget to like and hit the button bell para lagi kayong update sa aking mga upload videos and live. God bless Philippines. See you again. Bye. Baboos.
Thank you, Secretary Fred Pasqual, for that thumbnail sketch of all of the prospective investments that we are looking at. At the outset, allow me to thank all of you to have found the time to come to this roundtable discussion to talk about possible investments in the Philippines and why they are attractive, and what we have done to make the Philippines a more investment-friendly destination than it has ever been, and to also highlight the areas where we have put the emphasis on in terms of the economic transformation that we are undertaking for the Philippines. So thank you very much, and I would like to talk a little bit about what are the possibilities and what are the potentials in the Philippines in terms of the joint agreements that we can come to, the partnerships that we can come to. One of the central elements of our economic policy is to encourage all sorts of partnerships, and not solely within the Philippines, but PPPs, for example, with the government, G2G arrangements, whatever is possible, joint venture arrangements, and these are the things that we feel are going to be the multiplier effect for us, because although the government can do much, it cannot do all. And we have placed our private sector partners, both here and abroad, both in the Philippines and abroad, as front and center in terms of our partnership. As we feel that the synergies that we can achieve between government and the private sector are going to be critical if we are to succeed and to achieve the targets that we have proposed for ourselves. So let me discuss first the Philippines' fundamentals and how we have fared amidst the recent global challenges. The Philippines has shown healthy signs of recovery from the economic downturn, of course, brought about by the pandemic. We were able to register a 7.6 GDP growth in last year, and this makes us one of the best performing economies in the Asia Pacific region. For the first quarter of this year, the Philippines outperformed its peers in the region by posting the GDP growth of 6.4%. That is the first quarter, which is within the country's 6 to 7% target for the year. The reason that we put such emphasis on the growth figures is that as all the countries have gone into debt, a higher rate of debt to GDP, because of the pandemic and the costs of the pandemic response for each of the countries. It is our fundamental theory that we should grow out of that debt. And that is why we are pushing very hard to look at growth and employment. And those are the essential measures that we look at when we try to provide a quick sketch of the situation in the Philippines. Earlier in the year, we rolled out our Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028. We have listened to what global investors have been looking for, and the country has come up with an economic development plan which is centered on partnerships and, of course, on trade. And in this case, even looking for non-traditional trade partners, suppliers, and markets. As I'm sure everyone has experienced to greater or lesser extent, the traditional countries, markets that we had counted on were unable to operate in the same way during the pandemic and even up to now after the pandemic, and therefore we have to adjust and to look for what we refer to as non-traditional partners. The geopolitical situation also dictates that we have to have options so that should a global crisis like the pandemic arise once again, we still have the availability of these markets so that the trade can go on, the production can go on, and the exchanges can go on. In 2022, Malaysia was the fourth top source of Philippines foreign direct investment, with an investment of $108 million, which is a good indication that the Philippines is a preferred investment destination for Malaysian companies. Earlier this morning, I had the benefit of meeting a number of Malaysian businesses in the key sectors of agriculture, transportation, and technology. The insights from these meetings have further convinced me that we are moving in the right direction with structural changes that will establish the Philippines as the ideal investment partner for Malaysian businesses. Let me take the opportunity to thank these Malaysian companies who have expressed an interest in expanding their investment and operations in the Philippines. The investments that we have agreed on so far will inject a total of about $235 million, serving as a robust and affirmative indication of the ongoing trust and keen interest of businesses and investors in the Philippines. The engagement with the Malaysian companies and business leaders this morning yielded mutually beneficial outcomes for both the Malaysian companies and the Philippines. At present, Malaysian investment already provides a valuable contribution in advancing the country's economic development, particularly in terms of the administration's food security, infrastructure development, and job generation agenda for our countrymen. We continue our commitment to support not only prospective Malaysian investors, but most particularly the Malaysian companies who are already doing business in the Philippines. We have identified manufacturing, agribusiness, service industries, infrastructure and property development, energy, especially renewable energy, and the BIM-IAGA priority industries and the priority sectors for investment promotion to Malaysia. Let me focus on the policies and programs that we have set in motion to support our proposition for the Philippines as your strategic partner for regional growth and investments. We have broadened the range of liberalized businesses and sectors through the passage of key landmark legislation such as the Retail Trade Liberalization Act, the Foreign Investments Act, the Public Services Act, and the Renewable Energy Act. Through these measures, we have opened up sectors including air transport, telecommunications, shipping, retail, and renewable energy projects to foreign ownership. We have made our system of corporate taxation more business-friendly with a lower tax rate and improved mechanism for tax and incentives. We continue to seek ways to facilitate and expedite investments. We have recently established what we refer to as green lanes for strategic investments as a means to establish a whole-of-government approach to facilitate at the highest level of government the critical investments necessary for the development and competitiveness of our economy. Essentially, what we refer to as green lanes are since while we are waiting for the many more amendments to especially taxation legislation, procurement, accounting, all of these things that have to be modernized. We have created these green lanes to facilitate prospective investors in going through the permitting process, going through the documentary requirements. I would like also to introduce the gentleman sitting on my left here is the Speaker of the House, Speaker Martin Romualdez, and he is a critical part. He and the rest, we have two senators also here, Senator J.V. Ejercito and Senator Mark Villar, who have been critical in assisting us pushing these amendments to the legislation through the Congress, and to get these amendments, to get the new laws enacted. That's why we are still in the process right now, we could say, of rationalizing some of the parts of the tax code that really have become, I would say, obsolete and need to be rethought and re-engineered, really, for the new economy that we are all in after the pandemic. The Philippines is also leveraging on the active participation in multilateral platforms to sustain and promote its economic agenda. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, officially entered into force for the Philippines on the 2nd of June. With our participation in RCEP, we strengthen our participation in regional supply chains with an objective of attracting more foreign direct investments. There is significant potential for complementation between our two countries. We take pride in our key asset, it's our people. The Philippines boasts of a deep pool of human capital who are highly skilled and educated, talented, and dedicated to take on various roles in different sectors. Our country sits on an ideal demographic spot with a median age of 25 years old, which translates to immense potential in achieving breakthrough growth through greater productivity, a higher savings rate, and increased creativity. We recognize the important role of mid-tier companies in the regional value chain. We invite you and offer the key advantages of the Philippines as a strategic choice for the expansion of your mid-tier companies. The Philippines is not only a market for 109 million individuals, it also provides a strategic launchpad for your exports to compete in regions like the European Union. And with the Philippines EU GSP Plus advantages, local manufacturers and investors enjoy zero tariff access to the EU for up to 6,000 product lines. And there is a proposal that we are going to strengthen that cooperation between the Philippines specifically and the EU as part of their drive of the EU's drive to look to Asia for the leadership that to provide the leadership that will be needed by all the other economies around the world. It is a new development. It's not something that we've seen before, but again, with the globalization, the advent of globalization, and the continued shrinking of our planet, then it seems to be a natural next step. So with these advantages before us, and with these elements that we can put together, and we are here not only to talk about the advantages and the benefits of investing in the Philippines. We are also here to listen to our prospective investors to see what it is that the Philippines can do, what are the structural changes that are necessary, so that investment becomes the Philippines becomes a more attractive investment destination.
In the Philippines, last 11 years, COVID obviously affected a lot of it, so we're talking about rebuilding and growing now. Over the last 2 years, AirAsia has now expanded into a new company called Capital A, and we have many more opportunities to invest in the Philippines. And on top of aviation, we have a super app now which could bring many tourists into the Philippines. Logistics is a big topic I'd like to discuss with the President. We have a company called Teleport. And then aviation services. So generally about bringing more to the Philippine economy, investing more. And I want to tell my colleagues, my Malaysian business colleagues, what a great story I've had. And, the whole field, when I went to Manila recently, is a positive field. And I think kudos to President Marcos for being so open, transparent, and putting his people first. Yeah, well, Philippines has so much going for it. Number one, a population of over 100 million people. That's pretty good. A country that sits on the border of three big economies, China, Japan, Korea, and a highly educated workforce, and a beautiful country. Philippines must be probably the best kept secret in ASEAN. And our job is to tell the world that Philippines is open, and we want to bring more people to the Philippines, and also to create more jobs and indirect jobs through our investment. We have live experience of how the Philippine government has operated. Philippines is the first country to allow us to own 100% of an airline, which is very forward thinking. And so we're very excited.
Yeah, I think we are very excited and honored to be able to meet up with Mr. President. And I think he got a very good cause, with regards to agriculture. He got a very burdened heart to actually develop the industry. And we are very excited that, being a dairy company in Malaysia, we hope that we are able to share our learning here, particularly the breed that we have that is suitable for tropical dairy farming. Yeah, so for Philippines now we have really gone in. We started our processing plant in Pampanga, San Simon. That is our basically our stepping stone in order for us to bring the industry knowledge into Philippines. But more important, I think we would like to be able to secure, lease or rent some plot of land, because dairy farming you really need a lot of land. Otherwise, you can't even do. So we hope that instead of just importing the milk from Australia, we would like to produce the dairy milk, fresh milk in Philippines itself. Yeah. We are very excited because I think from our learning in Malaysia, right, tropical dairy farming, dairy product is very important nutrition for our children to grow up. And I think that to able to play the role in helping our country or even Philippines, for example, to develop the dairy farming is very, very exciting project for us here.